It is round 16 of the Formula 1 2012 World Drivers' Championship. I'm Psycho Enigma and we're here in South Korea. We are trying to form some sort of a comeback in getting some points in the championship after our poor showing in Japan. We made it to the top 10 shootout as you saw from yesterday's video. However, we got 10th. But we could have probably come about 7th with the lap that was coming together. It was just really taking that apex in the final sector a bit too tight, and the curve helped push me a bit wide. Regardless, this is where we've ended up. If you didn't catch yesterday's video, it doesn't matter. Yeah, you know, it's just really Q3. Hamilton and Alonso are the guys to beat. Very quick. Both of them getting sub 140 laps, and Button, I think, was very close. Red Bull don't appear to be anywhere this weekend, and Schumacher did well. The Saubers are pretty quick, but I think the saving glory for me is Roman Grosjean down in 16th position, so we've got some praise to take from there. Setup-wise, I've gone a bit different this week. Aerodynamics, this will be where one of the big changes is. Normally you'll see me run a higher front wing angle than rear to try and get the front, more downforce on the front to get the cars to turn in. That's not the case this weekend. I'm running it a notch lower because I'm trying an understeer setup. I spoke to a guy at work who said I should do it for Japan, but I was already at the race, so Parc Fermé rules were in effect. So I thought I'd try it here. Braking, standard as normal. Balance, again, I like to get the front of the car in. Get a good, just feed it in aggressively before the understeer starts, sort of mid-corner, which will run you out wide, get a nice bit of acceleration. That's the plan for this setup, and it's very similar to what Fernando Alonso uses in his Ferrari. Here's the big change, the suspension. You'll find the front and the rear, the front ride height and the front springs are higher, or higher and stiffer than the rear ride height and the rear springs. Produces more understeer, and the back of the car now feels a lot more stable. When I was doing the oversteer setup, I could keep it in line, but there were points where it was, you know, a bit crazy. The gears for this weekend, we accelerate away quickly, we build up speed quite nicely. We drop the 6th gear one back a bit just to allow us to, or the 5th gear, sorry, to get us there quickly, and we accelerate to 6th and then 7th. Is lower because I felt we could do with better speed in the race. Fuel you can't really change, and alignment is all the same. The car was twitchy on the straights, it was weaving kind of without me getting it to weave, so I changed that. 10th in quali isn't too bad. We'll just stick with the pre-built setup and we'll see where we go. We're known for our great starts. We didn't get a brilliant one in Japan, we caused an accident. 2. But we have it's more like a 100-degree corner to start with. And we've also got the hairpin at the end of the first long straight, so I'm looking to gain a few places there and looking to really try and hang with the pack. But I think Hamilton, the guy that's 5th in the Drivers' Championship, is the one to hold on to. And I'm sure Grosjean there will be aiming for points. But we're on the grid. We're looking quite nice. Probably my aim is to be up near Massa. Off the line, and Kobayashi's got away quite slow, so we are going to come, we're up his inside. Let's try and get round this first corner well. Without drag Massa. The Red Bulls have been slow. Kerr's abuse down the straight. Now Webber is on our inside. Alonso's had a bad getaway and he's in 3rd. The McLaren has passed him. It's currently a McLaren 1-2. That looks like Button cutting in front of him. We've not been last of the late breakers. I don't want Webber spearing into the side of me, and we've avoided that. And we are in 4th position. And one of the McLarens is starting to streak away with it, and you can guarantee that that is Lewis Hamilton. And indeed, it is. We've run wide. That is the understeer running the car out. Being on the ragged edge at all times. Oh, we've got that horribly wrong. We've taken down a Pirelli sign, and Mark Webber has got us back. We need to try and regain that position as soon as possible.
Put some pressure on him and try to get it back.
The car, with fueling, doesn't feel anywhere near as fast as it did in the low fuel runs in quali. Let's try and hang with him. Oh, we've got that badly wrong. And the car feels really bad in race conditions. Vettel has got past. Yeah, the car feels incredibly bad. The car on low fuel runs felt fantastic. This is not the beast I've been driving. And we've clipped the curb, we've stuck our back end out, and well, we've blown it for this race. Look at the way the Red Bulls have streaked away from us. Grosjean is up to 11th already. I mean, we're above our targeted finishing position, but that was quite frankly a poor effort from me. And this is going to be the DRS zone. It's such a long DRS zone. And, you know, you're going to have cars coming from a long way back. And we've gone deep into the hairpin. This is terrible racing. I don't know what's wrong with me, but Massa is going to try and go for it. Can't have Massa do that. I'm actually really upset with how bad this has gone. Look, because Button's backing Alonso up. And we could have finished ahead both Red Bulls and taken some points out of them. You know, we were starting to look like, on the form of average of points we were getting, we were starting to look for like second if we had carried on. But we have now dropped down to 6th on form, and 6th currently in the championship is Grosjean. So that's the guy that we need to look to beat, and we need to settle down, get into a rhythm. .8 seconds in a lap is just far too much. We're again losing time in the middle, and the curbs are too unforgiving. They will flick you around, and that's just me probably being over aggressive. The car was so good in quali for like grip. I feel as if I've stepped into a whole new machine here. Right, let's just calm it down, avoid the curbs, see if we can do some better laps. Because I know this isn't the speed of this thing. I know we can go quicker. That's the thing, I don't want to lose out to people like Massa, and especially Raikkonen in the pit stops. Got the car into the hairpin nicely. Grosjean's on the back of the points paying positions. And there they are up ahead. We've gained quite a nice bit of time in the first sector. I think Button's holding them up. Let's not relent a charge. Let's get this car around these corners nicely. Let's do the lap times. Come on, we're not out of hope yet. There's, I wouldn't say a long way to go, but there are still laps left. That means there are still positions to be made up. That's my motivational speech that I'm giving to myself right now. Although they have spread out a little bit. And we have run it out wide. That's not good. The understeer really kicks in on the high-speed corners. Okay. We're 3 laps down. Guys behind me have got DRS.
By our calculations, Massa should be stopping for new tyres within the next 5 laps. Massa into the pits in the next 5 laps.
I've got a sneaking suspicion Massa might be coming through. I've got a hunch. I don't know what that hunch is, but Massa with his DRS assisted Ferrari. No, he's not coming through actually. He's not steaming up my inside like I thought you might be. And look, we appear to be quicker in the first sector than the cars ahead, and it would appear that Vettel and whoever's ahead of him, I think that's Webber, have dropped back from Alonso and Button. So we're not looking as bad as I thought. If we're lucky, we might be able to get on the back of that if we can somehow fix our speed issues in the middle sector. Look, I don't know what it is. I think it's these switchback corners. I think that's probably the appropriate name for them. We haven't lost as much as we did the lap before. Massa's all over our gearbox. Hamilton sets the fastest lap of 1:42.6. He is our race leader.
Watch out for the car chasing you. He's less than a second behind and will use DRS to overtake.
I'm fully aware there's going to be some DRS action. I'm always looking in my mirrors trying to defend more than attack. Here comes Massa. He's not going to be the fool I half expected him to be. Releasing all the other cars out of the hairpin, build a nice gap. We're no longer as quick in the first sector as Vettel and Webber. And Grosjean's dropped off the back of this train because I think that's my main aim for the championship now. When it was mathematically possible, I had this deluded idea that we could win. That certainly isn't the case now. I want to retain 6th because for some reason it's pretty much we do the action off the start and this car just all of a sudden the understeer is getting worse and worse. I know to expect it, but come on. It's like our tyres have just dropped off drastically. Can't all be the poor driving on my part. I don't know where to find speed. Hamilton again, fastest lap.
The car behind is on standard revs. Car behind is running standard revs.
So we pegged the gap to Vettel for a couple of laps, and now all of a sudden he's just like, oh yeah, we can go faster, can we?
End of this lap. Pit this lap.
Oh, that was looking tussly there for position. They're dropping off the back of me and Massa. I think that's Raikkonen?
Out of time for you each lap.
Massa again with his DRS. I don't think he's going to be bothering us. Gone slightly deep into the hairpin. No, nothing too major. Yeah, this is more a battle for 6th now between me and Massa. By the look of things, everyone else has dropped back slightly. We're going to see the most time lost probably in the middle. Or the middle in the first sector. We're going to lose a lot of time to the others in the middle. But we're going to lose a lot of time in the first now that we've dropped down to standard. And I don't know what's wrong with me recently in my driving. It's been so bad. No, Massa's not going to get through. Massa's getting through. Massa. You will stay behind me, and this is allowed. Right, so the Sauber got past Raikkonen. What is going on with this understeer? It is madness now. The tyres have become dead. Hamilton's doing another lap. We can't do another lap. There is no way in hell, and we have chucked it wide, coming into the pit lane of all places. And that's how far Red Bull had now pulled ahead of us. They were able to do the pit stop. Come on, quick stop. 3 seconds. That is beautiful from the boys at Mercedes. And could it be enough just to keep us ahead of Massa? Let's hope.
To rejoin the track. The track is clear.
got Nico Hulkenberg ahead of us, and Kobayashi was the Sauber behind us. We have to get these primes to last to the end.
The car ahead is running the option tyre. We may have trouble closing the gap during this stint.
Got to try and make sure, because I guarantee Massa's probably going to be coming in this lap. We need to be as quick as possible on these primes and just try and sort it. And I always thought that like the options of super soft and primes of yellow would go to the shortest tracks, but this track's quite long and it appears to be relatively soft on its tyres. That being said, I can't remember much of the 2012 race around here. But I don't know. Pirelli this year appear to be... I don't know. Their tyres appear to be worse than last year's. We just have to see how everything unfolds, because apparently they're now going to make the tyres harder due to complaints or something. I've read a little bit into it. I just want to see racing, really. I just want to see cars go around the track. I don't care what tyres they got on them.
The car ahead is holding you up. We need to pass. You're currently faster in sector 1.
Okay, so here's the moment of which we find out if Massa has leapfrogged us or not. Kovalainen, Hulkenberg carries on. And no, Massa did not jump us.
Looks like the car ahead is
But Perez has jumped Massa.
Full revs, maximum power.
That's an interesting development. For Perez to jump Felipe Massa. We appear to have gained time on Massa somehow. We've once again gone a bit deep into the hairpin. I can never take corners correctly. Taking corners correctly, far too mainstream. Who's ahead of me that needs to pit? Wait, there is a Ferrari up there. Oh no, wait, that's not a Ferrari, that's a Red Bull. I was gonna say, it's like, what the hell? Like, I swear Massa came out behind me, and currently Schumacher's out the points. I'd say there's 2 cars ahead of me that haven't pitted. That must be right. Hulkenberg's pulling away from me. Now I've got fresh tyres on, the car appears to be responding better. I don't know. See what kind of lap time we do.
There's not much between you and the car behind, just 2 seconds.
That's where we made the mistake in Q3 and probably cost ourselves a good few tenths. Oh dear, that's not gone well. Alonso at 142.2, so Alonso finds the primes better. And there are 2 cars going in, and it was a Toro Rosso ahead of us, not a Red Bull. Grosjean's still out the points though. That's the good news that stems from that round of pit stops. In fact, Grosjean has lost positions. Even better news. I've got to the point where I just want consistent points finishes, and I feel like I should be achieving that in the Mercedes. I did achieve it in the Toro Rosso, but I want to race this season. You know, I can say I want to race in my first season. On Legend difficulty, which is quite nice, a crazy Monza. I'll probably stay on the statistics as my most successful track for quite a while, unless I can pull a winner in another track. I don't know, tracks I've done well at this year appear to be the street circuits. 3 podiums on 3 different street circuits. We got a podium in Bahrain, which surprised me because I was expecting to be really slow in Bahrain. Yeah, we got back-to-back podiums in Belgium and Italy though. We got a 3rd and then a win. They were the big points. That was 40 of my championship points that came from the Mercedes team. They're helping propel me in my championship fights. So And Alonso breaking the 142 barrier just by 1,000th of a second.
You're currently matching race pace. Good job.
What race pace? I'm doing 144s. Oh god. I'm getting it all crossed up into turn 1 of all places. Grosjean is 9 seconds behind us. But we have got a Sauber of Checo here that's using DRS. And he is gone. Unless you're the last of the late breakers and just prevent him from getting the apex. And of course, a nice little rivalry to develop between the Sauber drivers.
Pushing.
As Kobayashi passes Perez. I refuse to give up this position. I didn't lose it to Massa. I'm certainly not going to lose it to one of them.
On full revs. He's trying to close the gap.
Schumacher is now looking to join the fray. Let's now give it the rich mix. Let's go it for a couple of laps just to see what we've got left available. Maybe this little fight, and Schumacher's going to score a point. You know, I'd very much like Schumacher to get more points. It appears that my teammates are kind of incompetent at getting points. Then again, I appear to be incompetent at getting decent points as well. We've run it out wide. We are stringing together corners so badly, and Kobayashi is now all over us again. And we have some curves left. We will deploy that on the exit of the final corner. Vettel is now driving away from us quite comfortably. And here comes another Sauber. This time it is Kobayashi who's going to look to come through. Same line before as Perez. Only he has got an inside line on me.
We advise mix 2. Mix 2. We're comfortable at the moment.
Oh, and there's a right clash going on. Perez has now probably been taken by Massa.
Has minor front wing damage. Front wing damage.
Carbine has minor front wing damage. I don't know if that was Kobayashi connecting with the back of me.
Kobayashi just behind you. Watch out for him.
Also, I swear they advised mix 2. Oh, brilliant. Well, there goes our plan of rich mix for the last 4 laps, or at least like 1 or 2 of them. It's now all down to defensive driving. Although, to be fair, I think that's the only chance they've got into the chicane if I don't make mistakes. I've made a mistake. Kobayashi is known for suicidal moves, and Perez did lose a spot to Massa. Did. Whatever. Live commentary. Not really concentrating on what I'm saying, more concentrating on the Sauber that is behind me. Everyone else has funneled back a little bit, keeping it flat around the final corner. Don't use the curb. Here comes Kobayashi again. What way is he going to go this time? He's going to go the same way. We'll cut him off. And even though he's got DRS, he's going to try and attempt it a second time. Massa's going to look to try and pass him. Massa wants another go at me. Massa's got Kobayashi into the hairpin. And I believe Schumacher. No, Schumacher did not quite pass Perez. It's all shaping up to get interesting in the battle for 6th place. And who's coming up to try and join the party? It's Roman Grosjean. And to think we could have been up there in 4th trying to defend off Red Bulls. But after a very, very poor start to the Grand Prix with lots of understeer. I know I'd set up for an understeer setup, but it was just crazy the amount we had, and near the end of the stint as well. Trying to adapt to a new style of driving. Not gone well. We've gone a lot quicker through the middle though. There we go. Nail it out of here. Take a chunk of curb. I'd love to break the barrier of a 144. I really would. Here comes Felipe Massa in the Ferrari. Just hasn't got the balls to go as late as me on the brakes. Fuel is optimal.
You're just ahead of Massa.
Bring that up because we are going to need that, because I intend on giving it everything on those big straights for the this lap, as you've just seen, and the last one. Eat every final bit of fuel out of this Mercedes engine. That's the thing, it feels like I'm going through quickly. And is that Fernando Alonso going slow? Alonso has been passed by everyone. Alonso, who would have been running second, appears to be dropping back hand over fist. Alonso is very slow, very slow.
Just be careful when overtaking, otherwise we might get...
Wait, I have to give back the position. What the hell has gone on there? Oh no, I'm not taking that penalty. No. Look, I gave the position back and then he just brakes in front of me. Look, right, you see this. This is Alonso going through and then braking. I know he was entering the pits, but come on. And that caused... Right, I'm being a steward here and I'm saying I don't deserve the penalty. Right, so let's let Alonso take the position back. Right, there. There we go. In the interest of fairness. I know people are going to say now that I'm a flashback noob, but no. If I agree I deserve a penalty, like I've purposely spun someone out, then yes. But that was ridiculous. Quite frankly and honestly, I'm not accepting it. Oh god, Massa, I completely forgot about going to high mix. Or to rich mix and Massa. Get the car in. Thank god. Well, we've gained a position thanks to Alonso losing his front wing. Maybe he was getting frisky with Hamilton. We won't know. All we will know is we have to now defend 5th. Grosjean's got past Schumacher. Thanks for helping me, mate. You know, that's really helpful. So Grosjean, who was looking at getting no points, has got past Schumacher and Alonso's dropped back. He's now going to get 2 points. I know it's not the end of the world, but Hamilton takes the checkered flag. So does that mean, has it ended in McLaren 1-2? That would be brilliant for them in the championship. And a Red Bull 3-4. And here we come in 5th place, a controversial 5th, but I would say 5th nonetheless. We will take the points. Schumacher 10th, Grosjean 9th, We got 5th. We passed our objective of finishing 7th, which is fantastic. And yes, Mark Webber finished ahead. Hamilton was by and away the quickest. And where did Alonso finish? Up 16th in the end. Tim McGlock ended up a lap down. Paul di Resta with a poor weekend. Raikkonen was slow as well. Madness, absolute madness, all down the field. And any criticisms people have of my driving with that Alonso situation, you know, granted he was going into the pits, but he slowed down dramatically while I was ahead of him, or while I was behind him, sorry. I thought it was dangerous driving on his part, not mine. We still have a mathematical chance of winning the championship. So does Grosjean, so we're like the 2 outside bets. Hamilton now ties with Alonso on points. God, I remember when we were tying with Hamilton on points. Button is now 3rd in the championship. We are 6th. I think that's probably our finishing position. We have the stiff competition of Roman Grosjean and Sergio Perez for that spot. Schumacher is on 69 points. He lost out to Massa today. What does it do for the constructors? We are 5th. We are now beating Sauber by a single point. And we could track down Lotus because, well, Grosjean's got a lot of Lotus's points, but we could try and catch and pass Lotus, which would be nice. But I would like to thank everyone for watching the South Korean Grand Prix. I'll be back in a week's time. See you all then. Bye for now.